Listen, if you tried to lose weight 100 different times and nothing seems to be sticking, this video will finally give you the simple, repeatable system that actually works. Now, I use this very system to go from 240 pounds at my heaviest all the way down to 185 at my leanest. And let me tell you, it is a lot more simple than most people make it out to be. Coming from somebody who spent over a decade in the gym, trying every single diet, every workout, every single type of cardio, I will tell you that this is the one that works the most repeatable. I've used this and given this to clients, and they've been able to make transformations that they were not able to make over the last decade that they've been trying to. And it's very, very simple. So as long as you watch to the end of this video and follow the process, you are going to be able to make a real change in the way that you look. So first off, my system is built off of being the easiest. Now, when I look around at people who don't necessarily know fitness to the degree that me or some of my other colleagues know, they seem to start with the hardest, right? What do they try to do? They try to make changes in their diet, right? They try to go from eating out a couple of times a week and try to go straight cold turkey, rice, chicken, try to go like super healthy with food that they don't even necessarily like. And there's a reason this always fails. This actually goes all the way down to evolutionary psychology. You go back a couple 100,000 years, we are back in the caveman era, right? Back then we had to fight for our food. Some days you wouldn't even get food, you wouldn't get a catch. So what did that mean? You couldn't eat, right? You would go days, maybe even weeks at a time without a meal. That's the way life used to be. And a lot of our biology and programming is still built around that old system. So no wonder whenever you're 3 weeks in and you see that commercial of whatever fast food and you just go out and you binge, because there's food on every single corner. These resources are no longer scarce, they are very abundant. And because of that, we're really fighting your hardwire, right? You're fighting body's desire to survive, which if you try to do that straight off the rip, which most people do, you are destined to fail. Not because you're lazy, not because you're undisciplined, but because your biology is just too strong. So I actually recommend start the diet at the very end. The most difficult part of any diet should be at the end of the diet when you're fighting off the last 5 to 10 pounds of fat. But as for somebody who is either the beginner or intermediate and you do not really have any experience as far as the gym, I would recommend starting where the easiest comes. And that is going to be exercise. Right? Exercise is going to be the easiest way to lose weight if that is your goal, trying to get lean. If you're somebody who's not in the gym currently, not focusing on anything else, but getting into the gym 3 times a week and working out will get you a good amount of the results that you want. And this also goes back to evolutionary psychology. Like I said, back then we were fighting for our food. So back then, we're pretty used to walking. We're pretty used to exercise on a daily basis. We had to build shelter. Right? We had to build fire. We had to go out there and hunt. So our bodies are primed for exercise. So since our body's already primed to do that, that is going to be by far the easiest, because while it may be uncomfortable at first, your body's eventually going to adjust and it's going to find it very easy. It's in our DNA. It's in our biology. When it comes to getting lean, you're going to need muscle on your frame. Now that's going to mean going to the gym 3-4 times a week. Now, as far as different programs, I have down in the description below different programs that you can hit. If you're somebody who's a little bit more intermediate, I have a program for that. If you're somebody who's a beginner, I have a program for that as well. I'm not going to go over the exact steps on what exactly are sets and reps and all that. I expect you guys to kind of already figure that out already, but I'm going to go ahead and put those programs as far as lifting in the description below. So if you're advanced, you're intermediate, or you're a beginner, that's going to be down there for you guys. Okay, so that's the first part of the method. It's just simply getting in the gym, right? We're not focused on a calorie deficit or calorie surplus. We're not focused on any types of cardio. Just get in the gym and you will start to see results. Now, as far as the second part of the system is concerned, we're looking at cardio, and specifically low intensity cardio. That's going to be things like walking on a treadmill at a slow pace. You're just going to be like biking at a slow pace. This is going to be basically any type of cardio that you can do while still being in a conversation with a friend. This type of cardio puts your body in a very relaxed state to where your heart is still pumping. You still need energy, but it's not as immediate as it would be if you were sprinting or doing any other type of high intensity cardio. So what this is going to do is basically just allow your body to pull directly from your fat stores. Low intensity is going to be the way to go. Now, if you have any more questions on that, I will make a separate video exactly on the type of cardio that we're going to be focusing on in order to get lean. Now, if you guys do want further instructions on this and you think you kind of got it, but you need a little bit more guidance, make sure to hit the link below. And I am taking one-on-one clients as of right now, the guys that really are serious about finally losing the weight. Because a lot of people like myself, myself over a decade in the gym, and only in the last 2 years was I actually able to figure this stuff out. So if you want to cut the curb, get this part of your life already handled, click the link below, watch the video, and apply to work with me. And the last part of the Jace method that actually worked wonders was what I mentioned earlier. That is going to be the actual food that is going to be involved, right? That's going to be your diet. And the reason that diet goes last, like I said before, you do not want to be working against this. This is a very difficult part. It is very simple, but it is hard because you are fighting your biology. When you are hungry, your body's urge, and your urge is going to be to eat food. So there's a couple of different ways that we actually offset this, right? First off, we save it to the end of the diet, right? Now that you're at the end of your diet, you've noticed the fat's been coming off because you've been working out and you've been hitting cardio. So the fat's been coming off already. Now at the very end, when you notice the scale's not moving anymore and it's finally time to get rid of the last 10 pounds of weight, this is where the diet comes in, right? This is where you know where your maintenance calories are, and you want to, of course, subtract 250 to 500 calories off of your maintenance calories. That's going to put your body in a state where you can consistently lose weight week by week. If you've seen any type of fitness videos, you know exactly how this works, right? 250 calories a day. Cutting that off, that's going to have you lose half a pound a week. You cut 500 calories off a day, that's going to make you lose a pound a week, and so on and so forth. The more calories you cut, the more drastically you're going to lose weight. But be very careful here because a lot of people overcut their calories. They cut it 750 calories, 1,000 calories, and now when they plateau, they have nowhere else to go because now they're already at 1,500 calories for the week. And a lot of people like to focus on the actual diets and what they are eating as far as food and nutrition, but that seems to actually be the least important part. The most important part is just that you are actually hitting the calories that you set for yourself. You're going to use one of those calorie calculators on the internet, put in your height, put in your age, put in your weight, and it's going to tell you exactly how many calories that you should be eating. Start there and then slowly cut down. You're going to be needing to weigh yourself every day. What's going to happen is every day your body fluctuates in weight. You're not caring about the daily weigh-in, you're caring about the overall average weekly weigh-in. So you just take the average of the 7 days, you add them up, and then you divide by 7. That is your weekly weigh-in. That is how much you weighed for this week. Next week, you're going to do it again. And as long as that overall number slowly keeps decreasing, you can keep at that weight. Really what weight loss comes down to is it is a science experiment. It is a bunch of dials, and you are just slowly tweaking them to get the overall weight scale to move down. But slowly but surely, you're going to start seeing the weight actually start to come down. And then especially, like I said, you want to take your time with this. If you do not take your time with this, you're going to hit a plateau, and the plateau is going to screw you at the end of the day. It's going to be very frustrating, and you're going to end up giving up. So guys, just to recap, we're going to start opposite the way that most people start diets. It's going to be number one, you're going to start with just working out. Don't care about anything else. Just work out, right? Number two, you're going to care about hitting cardio. Start slow, start low. 2 days a week, 20 minutes a day, slowly ramp up as you see the weight start to stop. You only move something when the weight stops. If the weight does not stop, you do not increase anything, right? If it's working, don't change it. And then finally, once you actually hit the point where you can no longer do more cardio and you can no longer work out anymore without getting into like a burnout phase, at that point, that is when you start to touch your calories. Start to slowly taper off on your calories, right? 250 calories here, watch the scale drop, 250 calories here, watch the scale drop. And slowly you do that over 3, 4, 5 months. I promise you, you would get to the body of your dreams. Now, I hope that really makes sense for you guys. And like I said, if you do want to work with me, make this process even faster, make sure you're doing everything correctly. You want one-on-one coaching to actually make sure that you are hitting the marks you want to hit. Make sure to hit the link in the description below. And also on top of that, you know, a lot of this stuff is out there. It's knowledge that you could find, but it's very difficult to place if you don't know how to place it. This is actually the more technical side of losing weight, when the other side of losing weight is more about the identity, inner shifts about yourself, which makes weight loss way more simple, right? So if that's something that you are interested in, make sure to watch this video about it right here.